Well, Neil, my friend, it seems like anytime we do an episode where there's not much news
Going
to
on.
touch on, the CBL teams decide, why not? Let's just
it's
throw
like,
everything out there and force
like,
us to
hey.
come right back on the next week.
It's like, hey, Mark, have a water bottle because you're going to be here for a while now.
Yeah. Here's a
Get you
water bottle. Here's a side of fries. Here's a shot of whiskey. Here's a little
Yep.
bit of everything to cleanse your palate, because there's so much that has happened in the last 7 days, and
Yeah,
we're going to touch on all of it.
because
Here.
you and I weren't planning on doing a podcast this week. We
No.
weren't. It was just like, okay, we're going to take a week off, and everything kind of just fell in there. It's like, I don't even know where you want to start tonight.
To be honest, well, we have a list, but my
Yeah.
goodness, like
It's just like,
it's one of those things where do you start?
Well, it was like when I felt bad pinging you guys whatever time that was. Friday, was it Friday night or was it Saturday? I can't remember what day it was. I was pinging you guys and just like, okay, he's back. I'm like, I don't know if I'm back, but got out there going.
But apparently there's news to touch on.
Yeah, there's news. There was lots of news. There was like lots of new news. Everybody had to hear. I'll use the Kelsey's brothers. I think I just totally butchered that, but that's okay.
No, it's a little bit of new news.
Yeah, it's got to be higher pitched.
Yeah, and I think it's copyrighted, so I might have to edit that out. I won't, but
please don't sue us. Please don't
sue us.
Please don't sue us.
We're just your friendly neighborhood CBL change-up podcast. Mark Pare and Srivastava here with you. Braeden is off for the week, and well, where do you want to start? Maybe, you know what? Maybe we will start with the news that I ended up presenting the day after. I think I'm the one that started this all. I'm not going to lie.
I think you did. And you kind of, you sent me on a hunt, not intentionally, but you know, it was just like, okay, I got to go get some information here.
Yeah. A little tick tock. There goes the pitch clock news. Yep. That's right. So putting something out there in terms of what we could be seeing in terms of a pitch clock this year. Here's the latest information that we can tell you at this stage, is that the league does have the pitch clock technology with them. It's just a matter of getting them to all the teams ahead of time. You know, did they get them installed by opening day? We'll see. But the fact of the matter is the pitch clock technology is in. And for those that have been thinking about ABS, well, let's just say it's a load of BS.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
No.
ABS not happening in the CBL. And one other note on the pitch clock that we haven't gotten to, on top of the fact that notably, it is going to be the umpires that are going to be using it, because you don't want some Joe Schmo like me hitting a pitch clock and being responsible for a ball 4 on a walk-off walk, if you will, on a Thursday night.
Yeah, and I think it's best that the umpires are kind of policing that themselves this year, anyways. Just because again, it's another piece of technology that another volunteer unfortunately is going to have to learn how to do, or an army of volunteers would have to learn how to do, and there's just not enough time between now and. Because they're not even installed right now, so we're literally a month and 13 days now. I think May 14th is the opener from a lot of teams, so it's just like we're a month and 13 days away. So it's like, okay, a lot of stuff has to happen. A lot of pieces that got to get put in motion in the next month and 13 days. But teaching a volunteer how to run it is not one of them.
Yeah. And one thing to note about this as well, with that span of time left from now until opening pitch, the league officials I've been able to get in contact with, they have not discounted possibly putting in the pitch clock mid-season. Now, it's not going to be, hey, if the Leafs can't get it in by the time May 11th comes around and first pitch, hey, there's no pitch clock. Hey, we got to wait till 2027. No, that's not the case. From what I am told, the pitch clock, once all the teams have it ready to go, I believe it's going to be a one set date. It's going to be pitch clock as of this specific date in the middle of the season. They're not afraid of instituting a rule like this mid-season kind of thing. So that's pretty much where that stands at this stage.
And even I'd like to once again extend an open invitation to Scott Costello and just to come in and talk about this stuff and just maybe give us the umpire's perspective of how they see it's going to work and everything else, how it's going to speed things up for the average Joe fan who's not going to want to sit through a 3-hour or 4-hour ball game. Thankfully, didn't have a lot of those, but you heard a lot in those blowouts, and the hours tacked on pretty late for some nights.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. 3.5, 4 hours. No, thank you. No, thank you,
No,
Sir Bob.
no.
But yeah, that's where we stand at this point when it comes to the pitch clock. The technology's out there. It's just a matter of getting them installed at all nine ballparks. Up next, let's take a look at some great news that has come out over the last week,
Yeah,
including friend just down the street here at Hastings Stadium, our friend Dino Roumel. There's going to be more than one Guelph Sports Hall of Famer coaching the Royals this season. Dino
and it is.
Roumel is
Yep.
going into the Guelph Sports Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, well, it's great to see him finally get his desserts and his just rewards and everything and the accolades that I think again, even with Paul Ante and everything else, those guys probably they should have probably gone in at the same time. To be honest with you, but again, it's a Hall of Fame for all sports in Guelph, so it's not just the baseball ones and everything else. So it's nice to get back to back baseball guys. Actually, 3 years in a row. Scott Diamond was the year before that, right? Yeah. So it was just like okay, yeah, it's like it's great to get those things in there and it's great to see that baseball is getting the exposure it deserves, and a lot of these people that have been a long time involvement in baseball, not even just in the city, but at the provincial level, and of course, in Dino's capacity and everything with the Ontario Blue Jays, the Brantford Red Sox, the Maple Leafs, and everything else. It's just great to see the Greek connection finally get into the Hall of Fame. And congratulations, Dino. And I got to admit, I was one of the people that put the fourth nomination for Dino, just because again, I felt he needed to get his flowers. Just because he was a great influence to me growing up, even when I would pester him when I was a bat boy with the Royals. And it's just like he was driving and everything else. I'm just like he would answer all my questions. He never not once didn't say I'm not going to answer that or anything. He always answered my questions, and it's just even as our relationships grown over the years and everything else. I know if I have a quick question or something, I can shoot him a text message him on Facebook Messenger, and yeah, eventually he'll get back to me and everything else. So it's just great as far as that stuff. So great, happy for Dino, happy for his family, and just great to see his name finally where it belongs down on Cardin. Well, I guess it's downtown Guelph and at the Guelph Sports and Entertainment Center.
Lehman Center, right in the old Quebec Street Mall there, with all the plaques that are there in between the Sleeman Center and the mall.
Yep.
All the mall rats will be able to see it.
Yeah. Hopefully not draw mustaches or whatever else on that stuff, but you never know.
Try not to.
Yep.
But no, once again, congratulations to Dino. That Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be happening. It's actually going to be happening on the Wednesday after the home opener.
Yeah.
I think it's the 19th or something, but
I think
it's
the 20th
it's a
or something.
Wednesday night that it's happening in late May. So that's
Yeah.
when he's going to go into the hall. So that's going to be some really good things to see there. I know I'll be in attendance, so that's going to be
Yep.
something that I'm looking forward to as well. To the end of an era.
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs, the Marra brothers, the first family of Maple Leafs baseball, is no longer with Maple Leafs baseball. What's up?
So yeah, it's just the new GM's in place right now, but we're not allowed to say who. But he's been on the job since October, and he was tasked with doing some real deep soul searching here and probably putting trying to adjust the culture, trying to get younger talent as far as this league goes. That's not a shot against the Marra brothers and everything else like that, but it's just unfortunately when you have push comes to shove and you're looking at a salary cap, you're looking at how things went into flexibility and everything else, and some of these guys that are the older guys have now families and stuff like this. So you have guys that say, I can't make it all 20, I can't make it all every game. They're only I can maybe do 28 of them or something like this. So you're looking at a part-time player where you need the bodies for every night to be able to go out there and everything else. Cause you can count on one hand how many times your Toronto's coming into town for various places, Hamilton, London, Barrie, or whatever else. And it's like, well, how many guys they got here? And that's just again because it's a time commitment for a lot of these guys and guys with young families or guys who are just making a name for themselves in the working world just can't say, yeah, I'm going to book off every Tuesday or Wednesday because I got to do baseball. You just can't do that. So I think it's kind of a bittersweet for me, even because even when I was working with the Leafs, like I got to watch those guys play for so many years. Their mom would bring Jack up giant ass meatballs every Sunday without fail. I never got to try the meatballs because Jack was just like, "No, they're mine. Just go away." but they were always there, and it kind of became part of the Leaf landscape. Even and those guys with 14 years and everything else, and My favorite Justin Marra story is about a playoff game in, I want to say, August. So, Christie Pitts and everything else, they have a film festival as well. We're playing on a night we usually don't play. So in the film festival, they got Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho playing in the background. Justin Marra, kid you not, comes up to bat in the inning, and it's the shower scene. He hits the ball just almost as the knife is hitting the poor girl. It was just some poetic justice because they were playing London in the playoffs.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just like all you can hear in the whole background is the eat sound. He's hitting the baseball. I'm like, you can't make this up. You just can't.
I think they had a new home run horn there.
Yeah, it was just absolutely hilarious, like poetic timing. It was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it's just not happening now. But that's all you could hear from the film festival. It was just that trademark sound. And, I just announced Justin Marra to the plat, and then the next thing you know, he hit a homer to left field. It's just like, this is crazy. Like, you cannot make that up. But that's my favorite memory of Justin. And I know he was Wayne Gretzky's son, Trevor's roommate when they were in spring training at the Chicago Cubs and everything else. So when everything else went down and then Walter passed away and everything else, but it was just like, because Walter would take time out of his schedule to come down to Brantford and watch the Marra brothers play. Because it was just that whole thing. And Wayne made some comments as well, and too, like that stuff. It was just another weird way how things kind of intertwine in this league.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Very crazy stuff. Now, how does Justin Marra's rights get moved over to Welland? I guess why is probably the thing that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So we're thinking it was a salary cap measure, but again, Justin just had a kid. Congratulations to Adam Ott as well, because they just joined the dad club too. But yeah, it's just like, so he just had a child and he wasn't planning on playing a lot. But Welland and J-Mac and just being smart as far as how his things go, this move was made for two reasons. Robert Muller, his hips sometimes bother him and everything else, and there's going to be a time in this thing where Robert's going to say, you know what, I need a couple of days off to just rest and everything else. And if a guy like Justin Marra, when he actually does sign with his team and everything else, it could help them a lot, just being an extra insurance policy. But it's also a brilliant move on the part of the Welland Jackfish, because now you prevented the other 8 teams, the other 7 teams in this league for getting his rights. So you can't go there for you without, at least having to go through you first. Now, if you're the Guelph Royals, and that's where a lot of former Maple Leafs and former Barry Bearcats wind up, you can't go there now. So it's just like, okay, so now it's like, okay, now J-Mac holds that card and everything else. And I think what we have to do is, as far as the league, as far as language goes, that's the next point I was going to bring up to, is as far as trades in this league, they have to start calling it, like in Toronto acquires cash considerations, Welland acquires the rights to said player, not implying they're signed.
Yeah, it's just that they have the rights to sign that player.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what they have to do, as far as a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of language stuff, just so, because again, people are going to say, well, if I sign a contract in Toronto, let's go back to Dustin Richardson last year or something like that. If I sign a contract in Toronto, they're paying me X number of dollars. We can say that now, because it's all coming out in the wash now, kids. So we don't have to hide this anymore. So let's just get used to that and let's move past it. Okay.
Yeah. We just won't have all the numbers specifically at this point in time.
There's no cap guru right now, but man, I keep thinking we have to do something, but I just don't want to. I don't want to jump down the rabbit hole with Chat GPT right now, because I'm helping a friend out with her app, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm just like, no, don't want to do this. Please talk myself out of this. Don't do it. But yeah, but I think at some point we're going to have something there, but that's just a point. But yes, they have to worry about how this stuff looks as far as language. So if Justin Richardson, we'll go back to Dustin, and it's just like, okay, if Dustin Richardson is signed to Toronto last year, he's getting X number of dollars from Toronto. Does that imply when his rights get traded to Guelph has to pay him the same number? Or is it now, okay, it's just his rights? If it's just his rights, the player has the right to renegotiate a contract then. Because I would think that makes the more logical sense in this league, and how they want to keep the rules and everything else, and keep everything, the integrity, keep everybody on the same playing field. I think it's now you renegotiate with a player before you actually officially announce him as signed. I think that just makes more sense as far as logistics and even legalities. Because,
Yeah.
like I'd hate to be in that situation where we got put in when we traded Sean Riley. And then the player we were supposed to get back in return wanted $3,000 for the rest of the season. And of course, my hands were tied as far as everything else. I took it to ownership, and at the time it was just like, we can't pay that. We can't do that. So it was just like, okay, that was nothing happened. So literally they got Sean Riley. We got a bullpen catcher who was a great guy. And we got Zach Pearson, but it was just like, okay, Zach wasn't eligible because he was a junior age player still, and nobody bothered getting his properly signed or got the clearance and everything. So he couldn't play the year. So pretty much it fell apart in our lap pretty badly as far as that stuff. So, but it's just sometimes that happens. I'm not sure what happened at the league level as far as everything else after that fact, but it was just like it wasn't a great deal. It wasn't a great deal. But yeah, so we just have to, I think as a league, they have to just have some better cleanup in the language and really address that. And that brings us to the next point about player contracts. And so that the fans are aware, there's actually two types of contracts in the league right now. There's a non-compensatory contract where the player is not being paid at all, but they do have the health insurance. They do have the access to the gyms and everything else like everybody else does on the team. A lot of teams are now, they have deals with the local gym in town or something, the local training centers in towns where these guys can work out when they're not playing and everything else. And they have medical coverage and all that stuff, and probably access to physiotherapy, all that fun stuff that, keeps them going as players. And then there's compensatory contracts. Those are the guys who are actually getting paid through imports, guys that, you might have brought in from points unknown somewhere else. I mean, that might be import, but they might be Canadian guys that you brought in from BC or something, and you're paying their housing, you're paying them a little money just so they can at least make a living as far as this stuff goes. And we have to be very careful as far as this stuff goes. And we have to, I think that also just ties into the other point which was team compliance. And we want the teams, being shown as being compliant. Everything has to be disclosed to the league as far as what these guys are getting paid, and they have to remit now like almost a full paper trail of what went out to all these players, which is nice as far as this stuff goes. But again, we need somebody that's somebody to head that in integrity, not somebody in the league, not a Herb Morrell, not a Ted Calinis and everything else, but they need a third party to, oversee this stuff and then go back to the league and say, hey, Ted, these guys are over. These guys are over things, other things. And the other thing that came to mind and came to light recently is just because the guys that aren't getting paid, there's nothing really preventing, almost like the NCAA and the booster clubs were back in the day. There's nothing preventing any of that from happening. So, there could be a car dealership, could be anybody that has a lot deep pockets, not directly involved with the team or anything, but they could be handing, Jimmy or Johnny as they're walking out the door, a little envelope out of the shoebox. Brantford friends will know all about that one, but we'll just leave that one alone. We'll leave
trying to stir up some controversy, aren't you?
We're just because I saw it happened at Hastings all the time. They would show up in the Gabe Rebus days, and they all would get paid on the way out the door by somebody with a shoebox full of envelopes. Because, Guelph's the most unsuspecting place it's going to happen. So, we can do it in Guelph. So it's just like, it's going in a book, guys. It's going to happen in a book. It's happening. I'm sorry. But it's the true stories of the IBL back in the good old days. That, I don't have any ties to anything anymore, so I can actually finally say them.
Well, I do, so I got to be careful.
I know, you careful. You be careful. I can say what all I want. It's just like, no, but it's just those things that would happen in the unsuspecting parking lot at David E. Hastings Stadium.
Well, we got the 100-year book in the IBL. We got all the stats and some of the stories in there. This is just another addition to it.
Yeah, no, exactly. No,
well, like we said last week, IBL Uncensored, IBL After Dark.
Yep.
That's what this is.
This is what this is. And it's just, I'm not trying to raise flags over it now because it's happened so many decades ago, but it's just like, that's what would happen in the parking lot.
Yep. Yeah, we're not revealing stories that are current. It'd be like revealing a WWE storyline as it's happening. Hey, here's how the sausage is currently being made.
Yeah. Here you go. By the way, Mick Foley is winning the championship in about 10 minutes. Remember that?
Why? Why would you say something like that?
Yeah, I know. Like, why would you do that on WCW? I'm sorry, that was just weird. That was weird.
Oh, and yeah, Stone Cold is going to get probably the biggest pop of his career and hit Rock in the head right before
Yeah.
fully covers him.
Yeah. Like, thanks so much, guys. Like, thanks for making me want to switch channels now.
Yeah. And by God, is that Kane?
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Oh, that's got to be Kane.
Yeah.
That's got to be Kane. Well, it's got to be some transactions that we should touch on. Or do you want to go to the Barry news first?
Let's go to transactions. We'll do the Barry news later, a little bit later on too, because I think
Okay.
it, yeah, because we're kind of talking about players and everything else. So it's just like, okay, yes. So let's start off the top here. So obviously the big news that literally after we we do the podcast last week, it was Justin Marra going to Welland. His rights got
Yep.
put over there, and cash considerations went back to Toronto. And the new general manager and everything else, I asked him flat out, "Are you at your top of your cap?" And he's like, "No." But I don't know where he heard that from. I'm just like, okay, well, that's what the word is on this, and this is why this happened. So he
Yeah.
was nice enough to correct it. We're not going to say his name, but he was nice to reach. I reached out to him. I didn't expect to get a phone call back, but he's like, "Yeah, you figured it out." So it's like, okay, fine, let's go on it. And it's just, and he's definitely putting an effort into restructuring that team. So if you're looking at the Toronto roster and going, "Where's all their pitching staff?" It's coming, guys, but he
Mhm.
can't announce it because a lot of these guys are seniors in NCAA. That's as far as I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
But I know some of these guys he's got, and I'm just like, wow, okay, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
And he's putting together a really good infield right now. Like he's got Brandon LaRue, he's got Matt Fabian, he's
Yeah.
got the Cuban connection, and he's got Spencer Ross over there too. So it's just going to be like these guys are going to be fun watching play with that infield. As long as the pitchers can keep the ball in the yard, they're going to be fine.
Yeah. You need a lot of ground ball pitchers
Yeah, no
in
question.
Christie Pitts for
Yeah.
sure.
If you can get 3 Greg Maddux style guys that can get ground balls, you'll be laughing.
Yeah.
You'll be laughing. A lot of fans will be mad. There's no home runs anymore. Well, sorry.
Would you rather the home runs or get blown out
Yeah,
by
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. So yeah, as far as that stuff goes, and so that was the big one. And then of course, news out of Guelph is Kyle Cush is back finally.
Mhm.
His European and Australian tour is over.
Yeah.
Kyle Cush is home, so now he's playing with his brother Jacob, and then it's going to be great. It's going to be as far as it's going to be the 2 Cush boys, and maybe they'll get the third one in there, and they'll have their own version of the Marra trilogy
Yeah.
out there. You never
First
know. You never know.
first family of Guelph Royals baseball. I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it could happen. And then the Leafs, of course, re-signing Logenis Alvarado. That'll help them as far as the veteran on the staff and everything else. And it'll probably be a lot. He'll probably have a good workload at the early starts because, like I said, those kids that are coming out of the NCAA that are seniors are going to come in and fill those spots later on, but they're not going to be here till their seasons are done and probably hopefully late May, early June.
Yeah.
It might, in some cases, it might be late June because if their team's really good, they might go far. So we'll
Yeah.
have to see. We'll have to see.
So you might see a few bullpen days to start the season if you're Toronto.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean,
No.
they have a couple of guys that can go out there and get multiple innings, including
Yeah.
Alvarado. But yeah, I'm imagining at the very least you'll probably see some bullpen innings out of them for the first month or so.
Yeah.
Maybe the first half month or so.
Yeah, I would think so. I think again, it's just going to be guys getting their arms back into game shape too, because again, it's just been a long winter for a lot of these guys. And if they haven't been playing somewhere else, like in Mexico or somewhere in the Dominican or whatever else, it's going to be like, okay, yeah, they're pretty much coming in here and having this throw, and it's just like it's not the first month I've always called in the IBL kind of like the spring training,
Yeah.
but it's just because a lot of teams do treat it like that too, because again, it's just like okay. We don't know what they got till they actually all hit the field at the same time, and it's usually that first week in June where everybody's actually finally here. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we got. So let's see what we got now. And like, okay, guys have been playing at a position or playing for a position, auditioning for everything else, and now the veteran guys are back, and it's like, okay, now we've got the whole squad here together finally, and it's like, okay, let's see what they can do.
Yeah. And now there's more games as well too. So you add in the fact that you have 6 extra games you add on into the season,
Yeah,
you have this opportunity where you have more games that matter
yeah,
to allow you to kind of get settled, if you will, in late May, early June, and you can
yeah.
go on a run for a bit longer than what you've been able to.
Well, exactly. And I think a lot of teams right now are looking at the numbers and everything else. I know a lot of teams they got a couple spots open still. I could see them staying open probably till June or closer to the Major League Baseball draft, depending on what pulls down there. Because usually what happens around the draft time is a lot of these guys that are playing in the minor leagues and everything else that aren't cutting bait, suddenly become available. And if they're Canadian, or if they have if we're somehow some of these teams have an open import spot, you might see them grab somebody there and just try to put that piece into the puzzle here and hope for the last final push to make playoffs. We'll have to see as far as that goes, but it's going to be a different little bit of a twist to things too, because the cap's going to be an impact as far as these things go, and trying to keep things as compliant and keep everybody on the up and up as far as this stuff goes. And it's interesting that all the teams have to show their books now. So in past years, you could hear speculation about what so and so was getting, and be like, no way, he's getting that much money. And then you ask the owner, and it's like, yeah, okay, damn.
Yeah, beforehand it was what?
Yeah,
Paying.
What do you mean we're paying? Just like those are the conversations that I start hearing those things. I turn around and go the other way. So I didn't want to know.
Yeah,
I kind of liked going to Oz and still understanding the wizard was running everything behind the curtain without seeing behind the curtain.
Yeah,
and maybe that was just me being naive, but maybe it's just because I grew up with this league for so long that I was like, okay, yeah, you kind of hear the stories and everything else, but you don't want to believe the hype either. So it's just like, okay, what do you mean? No, these guys are paying for the love of the game. But then you have a harsh dose to reality, and it's like, yeah, you thought they were playing for the love of the game, but they were still getting their pockets greased.
Yeah,
so it's just like, yeah,
exactly.
no.
Well, speaking of believe it or not, today is April 1st. We're taping this on April 1st.
Yeah.
It's April Fool's. What do you make of the team's April Fool's jokes that have been published on social media today?
The only one I saw was Welland's. Really, I didn't really see anything else. And the Welland was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like it was kind of like, okay, fool me once, shame on you, whatever. Fool me twice, but then like I wanted to text Ryan and say, is this the best April could come up with this time? Like, come on. Yeah. Why is she fooling with us? Like that was his big line last year.
Yeah, you guys had long cocks last year. Like, let's go.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Like, come on. Like, come up with something. But again, it's just I think the switch to pro kind of switched the mentality to like, I think they had to focus their attention on marketing this stuff and trying to change gears here. And I know Matt in London and everything else. I was kind of kept quietly hoping he was just pulling the wool over my eyes when he said now we're not doing anything. I was just like, okay. Damn, man. Like, come on. But the Welland one, you give him props because it's totally Welland as far as this stuff, because they're going bananas. And you know what? I would love to see them play the bananas. Yeah. I would love to see it because it'd be perfectly something up their alley. And Ryan and the gentleman from Savannah could definitely do it. They could definitely pull it off, and I think it would go great.
Imagine Ryan wearing the outfit that the Savannah Bananas owner wears.
Man. Now I'm not gonna get that out of my head. And I guarantee Ryan
it would basically be if Ryan Harrison became Willy Wonka.
Yeah, exactly. No. And now it's not stuck it's now ingrained in my head. And I guarantee Ryan or one of his Photoshop gurus is gonna text me that sometime in the next week or so. And this is gonna be your fault, Mr. Perry.
I regret nothing.
I know you don't. But I do love their Canada Day outfit. I love it.
Yep.
But it's a lot of Hamilton Cardinals colors, guys. So I'm just like,
I mean, to be fair, it's red.
Yeah, and it's red and
Canada.
Black. It's a Mountie holding a hot dog holster. I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
I mean, if you were to see any other team in this league put out something red, you couldn't say easily, "Oh, it's Hamilton Cardinals colors."
Yeah,
it's Canada colors, guys.
I know, but it's just that's the first thing I saw. I was like, "It's an awful lot of Cardinal red here." Like it was just like, did you go through Eric for this? Like, come on, like seriously. Like, did he sign off on this? But it was just
my color.
Yeah,
my color, not yours. Mine.
Yeah, I know. It was just again. It was probably just because that was the red that was available.
Yeah,
for the jersey. So that's what it is. Which I love the fact that they do something every year. I love the fact that they're willing to think outside the box and came up with something really original. Like it's not going to be anywhere. Nobody else is going to have that thing. Nobody else will do it. I still want to see us do a Star Wars night and do it right.
Yep.
Like we were so close before COVID hit. Like we had everything else. I still have the letter from Lucasfilm, and actually, it's in the box in the closet because it was like, my God, I got something from Lucasfilm, and it wasn't a cease and desist. That's what it was. Just no, it was just. It's Star Wars, and it's my childhood right on there in the full display. So it's just like,
exactly.
yeah. So if somebody wants to do a Star Wars night, we have the jersey permissions and everything else, and what Lucasfilm needs as far as you guys doing as far as a charity event or something. So we have the big 3-page handout they sent us. So it's just like, yeah, we know how to do it. So if you guys want to do it, by all means, let me know. I'll send it to you.
Open invite. Let us know.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just been. Other than that, I think that was pretty much, of course, Barry with the big announcement we're going to touch on now. We're going to touch on now as far as this stuff goes. But other than that, it's been, like you said, it was just like everything suddenly came out of the woodwork.
I blame myself.
Yeah.
I put out one comment in regards to an update on pitch clocks, and then all of a sudden everybody decides, let's just give out news.
Yeah, let's just flood the poor guys.
Yeah.
The guys were planning on taking a week off here. But oh well. That happens.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at that last note from the Barrie Baycats. Todd Tuckey is now the CEO of the organization, and it's like it's coming with a little bit extra on top of that.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be spearheading the official, the more official stuff outside of baseball. As far as he's going to be taking this organization in different directions, trying to help shore up the sponsorship groups and everything else. And the big thing that's been going on in Barrie behind the scenes and everything else is they're getting closer and closer to hopefully a stadium, and hopefully it's downtown in Barrie and everything else. I think the last time I talked to Josh Matlow, he was saying is they're looking at the waterfront, which I think would be just a great picturesque view, especially on that Barrie area and everything else. Just you can see the boats coming across in the distance. So it would kind of remind me a lot of San Francisco as far as this stuff, if they can pull it off properly. Just that's how it was pitched to me as far as this stuff goes. And I think that's always been the downfall in Barrie, is just because the stadium's always been on the outskirts. It's not really in Barrie. It's really in Midhurst and whatever else. I'll probably get yelled at because it's not Midhurst anymore. It's probably whatever it is, but it's out of town. And they seriously do hand you Raid black fly spray, so you don't get it off, so you don't get eaten by the black flies and everything else. But it wasn't bad the last 2 times I've been out there. I warned Jenny and whatever else. It's like, yeah, we might get eaten alive by bugs here tonight, but both times we went, the skies were overcast. It just had rained at some point during the day too. So it's just like, are we even getting this game in? Like we just drove 2 hours to get up here. Please tell me we're getting this game in. But yeah, it's just like, okay, yeah. So it is, and it was. But yeah, I think he brings a good business background to this stuff, and it's a very important transition for Barrie because they were always as a not-for-profit team too, and now it's a professional team. They have to change their mindset as far as this stuff goes. They could probably still have some of them not-for-profit ties and stuff, but as far as this stuff, but he's a part of the ownership group anyway, so he knows what he's getting himself into. But now he's just doubling down as the CEO. Josh Matlow is still the team president, still the general manager, still the manager of the Barrie Baycats, but this takes some of Josh's load off as well. Now he's able to share the load with Todd and everything else. And I wish Todd all the best, and I hope it's very successful for them. And I would love to see a stadium in Barrie downtown.
Absolutely. I've lived in Barrie in the past, and I've been downtown quite a few times.
Yeah.
I can see a ballpark down there.
Yeah.
100%.
And if you're smart, you buy the adjacent properties around there. You put the bars and everything else in there, and then you work out a deal with the Baycats. Like what they did in Atlanta, I would love to see a smaller town like a Barrie do, because I don't know if you've ever been to Atlanta or not. So where the Braves play, that whole block and everything else is all owned by the Atlanta Braves. All the stores, all the venues and everything else. When you walk across the parkade where you park your cars, because it's the only parking places you're allowed to park, once you walk across, it's all licensed. You can have a beer in your hand the second you get across there. There's a Wahlburgers in there. There's like a million different little sports bars. There's an ESPN zone in there and that stuff. And that's why when they do the broadcast and everything else, it was just such a unique experience. I've been to various other places, and I'm like, I've never seen it in that capacity. But the Atlanta one was just like, wow, this is like really, really well done. If I ever won a big lottery, or somebody inherited somebody's Scrooge McDuck's billions or something, I could, I wouldn't be swimming in the dang thing, but I'd definitely be building something like that as far as that stuff goes. So maybe just take that in the mind, guys. When you guys are starting to think about Barrie and everything else, maybe you make it a whole licensed area from wherever the parking lot is to wherever you get into the stadium. And just, you make it, you keep it smart and everything. But you could make a lot more money that way.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe there's a local brewery or two that's downtown in Barrie as well.
Yeah.
They could also jump on board with something like that too, just being within that vicinity. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's a downtown that has built up quite a bit since my time. Keep in mind, I haven't lived there since 2011, and
Yeah.
since then that place has it's boomed.
Well,
And
even I just
yeah,
remember my first trip to there, and when they first came in the league and everything else, I went on the bus with the Royals, and they were really starting, but even downtown was just like, okay, we stopped in downtown Barrie for some reason. I think we just needed to get ice or something because again, it was just like I had never been there. And it's just like, why are we stopping here? And it's like, where's the stadium? Now the stadium's on the other side of town. I'm like, what?
yeah,
like really? Like, and back then there wasn't a lot out there. Like, but in the
mhm,
last 5 years, and every time we've gone down there, that whole strip from where the Walmart is and everything else on the far end of town now is now starting to build up as well. It's just like that wasn't all there out there the first
yeah,
couple of times I went through there. It was just like, wow, where did all this come from? And friends were like, yeah, no, it's all there and everything else. Like, Sam was worried because I wasn't right at the park or whatever. It was 3 hours before game time, but still, he was worried. Like, I'm just pulling into the Walmart. Like, oh, you'll be here in 10 minutes. No worries. So it's just Sam. Sam was worried because, I'm usually pretty punctual. But
yeah,
again, we weren't hurrying. We weren't even sure they were going to get the game in. So it's like, why am I rushing?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
no,
that's
a
just,
lot of different areas there too. I mean, I've spent a lot of time going to Saddle and Arena for Colts games this past season, and just
yeah,
that whole Mapleview area.
mm,
That's such a built up area that's so
yeah,
nice with so many shops, so many amenities. Like
yep.
that's another area that they've really taken care of up there.
No question there. No question.
hmm we have anything else on our list this week, Neil? I
I
believe we covered it all.
I think we covered it all. And we were just kind of spitballing ideas this afternoon. Like, okay, what do we have to talk about? And it was just like,
Yeah.
okay, like I don't think we forgot anything.
Do we make any predictions on what the next news to come out is going to be?
It's not going to be my return to the CBL, that's for sure. Because I think I'm going to take the year, and I might do social media posts here and there, but it's going to be at my own pace. It's not going to be because somebody's begging me to do something. But I think I'm just gonna. I think right now what I need to do for me is just kind of keep it low key. Keep it, I might pop into a ballpark or something in town here, maybe once in a while. But if the Royals need somebody to do some things on a little bit of a basis, maybe it's a Tuesday nights or something that they need somebody to be their in-house game person or whatever else, or if you can't make a game or something, I don't mind jumping in for like those things once in a while. But don't expect me to be at every game this year and just everything else. It's hard for me to just kind of even picture being involved right now because I was in the full complete mindset that last year was, I was taking this summer off to be with family, and they had given up a lot as far as that stuff goes for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And our family unit at the time that was going into this year, they were doing things. The youngest was going to school and everything else. And she'd never my partners had never gone through the empty nest syndrome, and I could see the signs of it already happening and everything else. Even when we went to the campus tours and everything else, it's just like, yeah, she was having problems with separation and everything else. But it's just at the same time she's watching her baby grow. So it's just like, okay, yeah. So I think in my heart it was the right decision to step away when we did step away. And
Mhm.
it's just like, as much as, don't get me wrong, I love being involved, and like you guys were razzing me, he's back and everything else on the week because it's just all those things were popping in my head. But it was just like, again, it's just like, okay, yeah, but is my heart into it right now? And I don't think it is. Like, to be
Mhm.
honest, I just don't think, as far as it's just I can't picture myself doing it at the level I was at,
Yeah.
because it's just there's not the same sort of support system in place for me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's not, my wingman's not there. And it's just, it's hard as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah.
And I'll be very honest with everybody listening and everything else. I spent 2 weeks in Homewood, not so
Mm.
long ago. And it was just because the weight of everything hit me all at once. And I needed help. And I'm not ashamed to admit that or anything, but it's just I never felt I didn't know what anxiety was until that. Like
Mm.
I didn't know what panic attacks were until that. And for people that suffer those things, like I understand your pain as far as this stuff goes. And it's just hard. But at the same time, it's just like I've got to pick up the pieces of what's left and everything else. I have to go back to work. I have to be a dad to my two kids, and I got to be able to function at a level where I think I can comfortable with stuff like this. So, like if the Silver Creeks want somebody to do their Wednesday night games or something on YouTube or whatever else, I'm down for it because it was something that I always did it alone anyways. But as far as the CBL stuff and everything else, it's hard right now. Like
Mm.
it's hard because the heartbreak is still there, and it's just
Yeah.
like I can't picture me doing it without that support there.
Yeah.
I just can't picture myself doing it right now. And it's just I'm taking this year to heal really,
Yeah.
and just kind of decide what I like doing still.
Yeah.
Even video games right now. I'm just like I'm having a hard time spending the time streaming those things because it's just like okay, it's not as fun as it used to be. It doesn't seem to pull me as much as that used to, and
Mm.
it's kind of I don't want to say I'm growing up because I'm not, but it's just
I don't think we ever grow up.
no, but it's just you know what I mean. It's not the same. It's not for the same reasons anymore. It's not
Mm.
because somebody's in the background laughing at what I'm doing on the stream or something like that. It's just having fun and it's just whatever.
Exactly.
So it's not for the same reasons. And I think
Yeah.
it's kind of the process right now. It's a lot of healing, a lot of talking to medical professionals and just trying to sort out what Neil wants to do now. And
Yeah.
I keep joking about this book, but I think it's time to write it. Like I think it's time to, put some pens to paper and, share some anecdotes over the last 30 years of being involved in this league as far as things that happen and just, maybe it's going to be a lot of believe it or nots. And I would actually, if I was going to name players, I would go get their permission to name them and everything else. But as far as this stuff goes, but I have stories from the back rooms and everything else, how it was like back then, as far as you could walk into an owner's meeting and just be like, holy crap, these people are like really old. There's cigarette smoke everywhere. And it's the Naughty Pine Inn in Cambridge where they
Oh my goodness.
where they got in the basement. That's where the meetings were always every year, every month and everything else.
Just
So I
a
would
just a plume of smoke. If you're trying
yeah,
to do a PowerPoint presentation on something,
yeah.
forget seeing it because it's just clouded.
No, it's just no, that's what you walk into.
Yeah.
And it was an old boys club, literally an old boys club. But it was just like I did not fit in that group. But here I am I got at 21. Larry Pearson put his face in me that year, and I was just like, okay, send him to the meeting, send him to do this, send him to do that. So I was very blessed as far as to get that experience at that age. Scared the crap out of myself, but thought for sure I was just not going to make it out alive that year because it was just I'm dealing with guys that have been playing professional baseball, I'm dealing with guys that played in the minor leagues and everything else, and here's this 21-year-old kid trying to run a team. Like, what's going on? It's just not happening. And I've been very fortunate as far as this league, and I don't ever want any discredit, I don't know, discredit that stuff. I want to
Yeah.
share the stories because they're funny and they're important to have in this legacy when this league has gone pro and everything else, and why they went pro as far as this stuff goes. It's important to that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that's my plan this summer is just to kind of be low key. If somebody says, "Hey, why don't you come to the park or something?" I might come down, but don't expect me to see a lot. You might need somebody to come in someone for sit second chair for you. I'd be more than happy to do it. But it's just a matter of it's not going to be every night. It's not going to be my big focus this summer. It's going to be okay, what are my kids doing? What am I doing? And what can I fit into my schedule as far as this stuff goes? But I love the game of baseball. I don't take any of that stuff back, but it's very different for me right now, and it's just what I can handle,
Hmm.
everything else. And it's just because it breaks my heart that the things have gone through the way it is right now, because this is not how I pictured this year going.
Yeah.
This is not anything how I saw it going. So it's just it's hard, and it's I'm turning 51 tomorrow, so it's just like you know it's it's like wow, like okay, so what does 51 look like now?
Yeah.
It's like you're in that second half century. What does 51 look like? You can't be chasing baseballs and baseball dreams at this age anymore as far as this stuff goes because you're not becoming the next TSN's not waiting in the wings to call you. Sportsnet's not waiting in the wings to call you. Hey, come fill in for Joe Sedal. But it's not going to happen. It's just
Mhm.
not. But I've been very fortunate to have worked in so many circles and
Yeah.
had so many great experiences that I hold on to those things. And it's just like, okay, yeah. So that's the stuff I'll write the book about. And
Yeah.
it's just like stuff like positive stuff. I'm not going to trash somebody because there's no point to. Like
No, exactly.
what's the point of it? Do I want a lawsuit for trashing somebody? No, I don't. I just want to put a good shine on this league and maybe teach the casual fan out there why it was such a great game and why was I so passionate about it for so long. And
Yeah,
why every summer it break my heart, but I'd always come back waiting for wanting more. It's just as far as that stuff goes.
for sure. I guess as it pertains to this very podcast, just for the listeners that are listening in or watching this on YouTube,
Yeah.
I guess what's your current state as it pertains to this?
Whenever you guys need me. Like as
Yeah,
if it's not every week, hey, understand it's just hey, I'm just like trying to process things and I'm probably having because I have to go through my skeleton closets and I have to be honest with myself as far as the stuff that kind of held me together and held me back and stuff I bottled up over my lifetime that I have to finally let go of.
yeah,
Because like I said, when it all came out at once. So it was just like, okay, yeah, this is not normal. This is
mhm,
not. This is the furthest thing from being okay. And I think it's time for me to get some help. And
yeah,
it took a lot to get me to that point. But it's just like, I was always put a brave face on everything. But it's just, I was falling apart inside. There was many nights last year that I was just like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Like,
mhm,
and my partner at the time and everything else, she was doing her best to be supportive at the same time. But I think she was kind of scared because it was just eating away at me.
yeah,
So, and more power to her for just saying what she said, and and why it's no longer an us.
mhm,
So and it's just I don't have a bad thing to say about her.
yeah,
I don't have a bad thing to say about the experience because it was an adventure and it was an adventure that helped a lot. And it got me to see things and we got to do things together and it was great.
mhm,
But it's sad. It's very sad. It's over. It's very sad. It's over. And hey, that's what they pay the medical professionals to try to fix me. So,
yeah.
yep.
Can't pay money to fix me at this stage. I'll tell you that much.
No, no. But again, it's just like if anybody's out there and feeling not okay, it's okay to not to be okay. But just know, there's supports in place.
Yep.
There's that 988 number out there now. The Ontario government and everybody else is really touting. Don't be afraid to call it. They'll
Yeah.
answer. They'll text you back or whatever. But don't be afraid to call it if you're feeling in that spot. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid to because it takes a bigger man to admit they need help. And
Yeah.
it's just for a long time I think I needed something like this, but not all at once. But unfortunately, it's just how it happened. So
Yeah.
it's just how it happened. So it's just be honest, and I can see me doing this maybe even a couple of times a month, but don't expect me to be jumping on. I'm not going to be ripping apart the power rankings because that's no longer my job. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So it's just like what? It's just I'm kind of looking forward to not having to be at a park every Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just kind of like, okay, it's Saturday. I got nothing going on. What's going on? Who's playing? Let's go see. Maybe we can go take a game in or something. But my kids aren't really into it. Sam would go because she liked being with her dad. She
Yeah.
didn't really care for the baseball, but oh, dad will stop at McDonald's. Dad will get me something at the park or whatever else. And then, I get to I can steal dad's phone for an hour and do
Yeah.
whatever on TikTok.
And eat McNuggets.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No,
Yeah.
so she loves coming, and my son's not into sports at all, but he gets it and whatever else. So it's just like, okay, fine. So dad's always busy with baseball, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll see
Exactly.
I'll see him Friday. I'll see him whatever night.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's where I'm at, and I didn't mean to bring a Debbie Downer to this whole little end of the podcast, but I just wanted people to know, and I really, really, really appreciate the people that did reach out last month and to see how I was doing, stuff like that, because not a lot of people knew what was going on, because I was
Yeah.
very close about it. I didn't really want to publicize it either, because you just don't want to say, hey, I'm crumbling apart inside here and just kind of just trying to hold it together here. But I needed help, and
Yeah.
thankfully I was available. And thanks again to my work for giving me a month off. And this was my first week back there, and it's just like, okay, yeah, things are. It's nice to be back in the routine of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. Like, it's going to take a while. It's not going to be an overnight fix. There's no magic pill they can hand you. There's no time machine they can go back a year and a half here and fix everything for you, because it just don't exist.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if there's anything to take away from all that, it's, you flat out said it. It's okay not to be okay,
yeah.
and reach out for your support. Uh, if you're feeling not okay, because the
Yep.
support is there for sure.
Exactly.
So speaking of supports,
Yep.
this is a very dark way to transition into something baseball related, but I guess
Hmm.
here we are. But I guess when it comes to support, there's a lot of people that support us here on the CBL Changeup, including Patrick Melbourne, who's been doing a lot of
Yep.
our
My
graphics
graphics.
and our thumbnails. So I definitely want to give a long-awaited verbal shout out to him. But you can see in
Yeah.
our
Exactly.
in our in our comments or in our description, if you do need some graphic stuff done, he is great
He's
at doing
he's
it.
he's phenomenal. He's
Hmm.
phenomenal. He's just like, you can pretty much go to with him anything and say, I'm thinking this, and he's like, okay, I'll give him a couple minutes, and
Yep.
he'll pull something up for you. So it's
Yep.
great. So
Yep.
look up Pat if you need somebody, please, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And if you don't know how to reach out to him directly, reach out to us, and
yeah,
we'll direct you their way. There is a way to reach out to us that is at our email address, and this is the last bastion, if you will, of our former name. It's going to be iblinsidepitch at gmail.com. That's iblinsidepitch at gmail.com. Reach out to us anytime. Questions, comments, concerns. Looking to reach out to Pat. It's
yeah,
mostly going to be Pat, as with, like, let's just be clear here.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to us.
No, but it's gonna be, hey, I can get all of Pat. I need
Yeah.
this. Yeah, no, but as far
Yeah,
as this,
if it's all Pat, it's all
yeah,
good. All
yeah,
good. But if you do
exactly.
have any questions, comments, or fill up a mailbag segment at some point
Yeah,
this season, reach out to us anytime. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Twitter, X, I guess,
yeah.
Facebook, and Instagram. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you'll find out when we are live or we are on the air anytime here on the CBL Changeup, whether it's on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify. Well, he's Neil, I'm Mark. We'll see you next time. We have just a little over a month away until first pitch of the CBL 2026 season. This has been another episode of the CBL Changeup.